Striker drone detected. Hostile striker drone detected. Immediate medical restore hive detected. Hostile restore hive detected. Rogue agent neutralized. Rogue agent eliminated.
Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and welcome to my first NinjaBike build of Season 11, everybody. I have spent countless hours, too many hours, trying to figure out and put together the best first NinjaBike build to display here on the channel. I did a ton of testing with a ton of different combinations and items to find what could really be said to be a superior PvP build to other options in the game prior to NinjaBike's release. And just to be transparent, that's not to say that this is suddenly going to take over every other build type or that it's better than anything else you can do in the game, but the combinations that you can put onto this build, I think, do make it unique in other aspects to other builds, and it does unlock some wild potential as far as what you can do with your build. So obviously this is very early into the update. There's going to be a lot more refinement to do over time to really hammer things out, but for now, I am proud to present my first NinjaBike PvP build of Season 11. Enjoy. Alright, and here is the build. Is it what you were expecting? Maybe, maybe not. So I want to try and be as efficient as possible. As usual, I don't want to keep you here for too long, but I do want to take the time and explain kind of my thought process behind putting each of these pieces in, as with something like the NinjaBike, it is very influential which ones you're using as for the different bonuses you're going to acquire. Also, and I've said this before on my other build videos, I'm not the most mathematically inclined person in this community. So while I have done a ton of testing about as much as I think I can do, trying each of these different pieces out with other options, seeing which is best, I believe this is the best version of this build that it can be. But as always, if anyone has any input, I'm happy to hear your thoughts out down below if you think anything else would fit in better. But I know what works well for me, and as you probably saw in the gameplay, this is already working quite well. But let's just get going with it. For my primary, I'm using the Eagle Bear Exotic Assault Rifle. Probably not a huge surprise to a lot of you because the Eagle Bear is my favorite gun in the game, and I really like how it handles. But what's nice about the Eagle Bear on this setup is the crit values that I'm taking advantage of. It has the 10% sight, it has the 15% crit damage muzzle, and because of that, my total crit values, if we go over here, you'll see that it is a bit different from what I usually run. Usually I try and get it closer to like 50 crit chance and have, then as much crit damage as I can. On this I have 30 and 141, which means that my crit chance is a bit lower, so my fights are a bit more dictated by RNG if I'm hitting those crits, but when I do, it's chunking them very hard at 141 with the amount of base damage that I have. So it's an interesting setup. Again, I might tune that distribution over time, but for now, I'm kind of liking how it plays. So obviously, if you don't have the Eagle Bear, you can use a high-end AR. I would always recommend something like the FAMAS, the Carbine 7 with like Optimist. Just put on at least 2 crit chance mods on there, and then you'll have the same amount of crit chance because I'm just getting 10% from this site, and then just do either a third crit chance mod or a crit damage one in the third slot, and you'll be good to go. Secondary, totally up to you. I don't think I've pulled out the apartment once while I've been using this, so again, not too influential. And for the pistol as well, whatever you want to use, I like the Orbit on a lot of my builds. All right, moving on to the gear. The first one is, of course, the NinjaBike. This is the new item that came with Season 11. In case you aren't aware of what it does, the talent on it is Resourceful, which is that it slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a bonus. Can unlock bonuses from multiple sets simultaneously. What that means is that any gear set or brand set you're wearing now is a +1, meaning if you just have one piece of something on, you're suddenly unlocking the 2-piece bonus. If we go right here, you'll see that even though I just have one piece of Petrov on, I'm getting the 2-piece brand bonus right there. So that's what the NinjaBike does, and that is the basic philosophy behind any NinjaBike build. That said, let's get into the individual pieces and talk about why I think they work so well, especially for PvP. So for the mask, we have one piece of Foundry Bulwark. I think this is going to, when the dust settles in like a month's time, this is going to be one of the most popularly used gear sets with a NinjaBike build because, at least in PvP, because because when you wear just one piece of it, you get the 2-piece bonus, which is 10% total armor, which is not anything to scoff at. You know, a lot of people like running Gila to get the 5%. You can run the closer chest piece on pulse builds, you get another 5% there, but just putting on this one piece gets you 10%. And what that allows me to do is I'm only running 3 blues on this build, and I'm already pushing 1.4 million armor. And once I fully max this out, the armor roll on here isn't done, and any armor you add to something where you have like a 10% total armor buff, it just spikes the amount of total armor you're actually getting because it applies that percentage bonus, right? So I still have 35,000 armor to be gained on this piece. I can also then start expertising some of my other pieces, and once I do that, I'm easily going to surpass 1.5 million armor with only 3 blues, and that leaves even more room for me to pick up more damage, and that's kind of what makes this build so good. So that's kind of been the secret to unlock here, and so I'm using that one piece of Foundry with armor, crit damage, and a crit damage mod there. Then move on to the chest piece. This is easily one of the best brands to use with the NinjaBike, and that is Walker and Harris, because just using one piece of it, you unlock the first 2 brand bonuses, which is the weapon damage and the damage to armor. And what this means is that, again, I tested this thoroughly. Hope I'm right, but I'm pretty sure I am, that using one piece Walker with the NinjaBike is far better than, especially on ARs, using one piece of Fenris or even Heartbreaker, because you're getting that multiplicative bonus from the 5% damage to armor. And so at least in my testing, this was always giving you a higher damage value, so that's why I ultimately end up going with it, and we'll talk about that also with these other pieces. But on here, of course, I'm getting those 2 brand bonuses. I then have the weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage with a crit chance mod, and Unbreakable. Certainly feel free to experiment with that chest talent, but I really like Unbreakable in PvP, especially with these types of builds. Then moving on to the holster, we have the Picaro's holster. Obviously, this was added in Season 10, and it's a very popular option because it comes with 2 core attributes of armor and weapon damage, but additionally, what's so fun about having it with the NinjaBike, and this isn't like the most applicable to this build, but just in general, you actually, if you wear with the NinjaBike, get all 3 skill tiers, or all 3 core attributes from this item as well, because you get the armor from the core, the weapon damage from the attribute, and you can see right there, you get a skill tier from the second piece brand bonus, which you unlock by running it with NinjaBike. So that's not even like the main reason I'm running it here, but that's just kind of a cool fact. But for this piece, I ended up just, like, if you think about it compared to Heartbreaker, you can run Heartbreaker and get 15% AR damage, or I can run this and get armor and 15% weapon damage. So it just made more sense for me to go with this, and again, compared to some of those other items, we'll talk about it in a minute, the Picaros just fit really well into this setup. So on there we have armor, crit damage, and a weapon damage attribute, which it comes with. Then for the NinjaBike, we just have a crit damage mod on there, and we already went over the talent. It comes with all 3 core attributes, so again, we're really getting as much bonuses from all of those as we can, and it's nice to have 2 skill tiers just passively, right? For your defender drone, that gives you more, at least I'm using that gives you more passive protection when you're in a 1v1. It's pretty nice. All right, then we come to what is probably going to be the most controversial piece on this build, and again, still need to do testing. Again, I've done as much as I think I can do, but in this slot, I used to be running one piece of Heartbreaker, because with the NinjaBike, that gives you the 15% AR damage for just wearing one piece. However, when I compared it to Contractors, and I did the 2 side by side, try to keep every other variable the same, I was getting more damage out of Contractors. So for now, I'm sticking with that. You also end up getting the 10% weapon handling bonus, which is really nice. And then last up, we come to the Fox's Prayer. Again, in all the testing I've done, this beats out anything like running Fenris or one piece of Heartbreaker on this kind of a setup. Again, just because of that multiplicative nature of the damage to targets out of cover. So pretty sure that's going to be the best option here. At least that's what I've found. And again, you do get a nice handling bonus from the 2 piece of the brand, the 20% accuracy. So in total, if I can look at my stat sheet here, you're getting a decent amount of handling stuff from just the passives on this build. You're getting 50% accuracy from, you can see there, the watch, the weapon handling mod on the Eagle Bear, and those 2 brand bonuses. So it's pretty nice, and you actually, I feel like I have felt the extra handling come in combat, so it's a lot of fun. And on here, I just have weapon damage, the damage targets out of cover, and crit damage. And then last up for the skills, really up to you. I would recommend a defender drone though, especially when you are running the Picaros and the NinjaBike, because the 2 piece, or the 2 skill tier rather, is just really nice. And you can see my PvP damage reduction is going upwards of 20%, which is definitely nice in a 1v1. Certainly, I don't think there's many other better options that you could run there. I've swapped this back and forth between an EMP sticky and a decoy, depending on if I'm in conflict or the DZ, so whatever you want to use there is totally up to you. And as with all of my builds, I am running the, or at least PvP builds, I should say, I'm running the firewall specialization because that medkit is just unbeatable. Also, if you are using a high-end AR like a Carbine 7, you do get to take advantage of the 10% crit damage grip mod that this unlocks when you, I think, go through shotguns or one of those, so that's a really nice bonus too. Firewall's just all around great for PvP, and that's what I recommend here. And there you have it, everybody. That is the build. Really have enjoyed this one. I really can't wait to continue messing around with it, especially getting some of that expertise up on my armor pieces. That's really going to blast the armor value up through the roof. And I just think this is really going to be a fun and lethal option for a lot of players, and really has a lot less management than a lot of other build types where you're getting similar damage in armor. This is just put the pieces on, have the bonuses, and go at it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think a lot of you are going to enjoy it. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on the build. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of thoughts to be shared, because as with something as, open-ended as the NinjaBike, there's going to be a lot of different suggestions, a lot of different trains of thought as for what pieces of gear to use. So certainly want to hear any and all of your feedback. If you would change anything, what your favorite NinjaBike combinations have been so far. That's going to do it for me today, though. Everybody, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold. Ow.